Hey, this is Neil C.
And Annaleis.
From Dark Angels and Pretty Freaks, and you are watching the PBR podcast.
Hit it! Culture, sophisticated
podcast, baby. Now tell me something good. Oh, yeah.
What's up, everybody? PBR Podcast, Mike Polano, Derek D, and sitting in via Skype all the way on the West Coast, the left coast, the other coast, it's Neil and Annaleis from Dark Angels and Pretty Freaks. Yeah!
What up?
Yeah, what's up?
Guys?
Thank you so much for taking the time to come on.
How goes it?
It's going, man. How's it out there?
It's good. It's freaking hot, but it's good. We close all the windows and everything so we don't get a lot of noise, but it cooks in this little room that we podcast in. So we are sweating already for you.
Wow.
Yeah.
What about air conditioning?
You would think, right?
Yeah, that'd be a good idea in California, but we're cheap asses, so no air conditioning.
Plus, for audio, I guess you don't want to have the sound of the air.
Right.
Right. Yeah. No fans. No air. We're pros for you. We're cleaning it up for PBR.
Right. For sure.
Nice.
Right.
Yeah.
I was kind of hoping maybe you had a window open because I listened to your podcast and I was kind of hoping maybe I heard some Mexican house parties going on.
There you go. Yeah.
A little polka?
Yeah. Annaleis's Mexican polka band. Yeah, it would be actually. Hey, if they start playing, I'll bust it open.
It's typically on Sundays. It's like a barbecue party kind of thing.
Yeah, they get crazy.
Yeah.
And these are your neighbors?
Roasting goats. Yeah, they're behind us, and the band is freaking awesome, and they practice, and it's something else because you're like, oh wow, they're listening to the radio. No, they're doing that live.
Yeah, I'm like, wow, that radio's really loud, and then I realized that no, that's a band, and then they talk to each other, and they'll like start over, and it's like the same song. I'm like, oh wow, okay.
Is it annoying or good?
It's really good.
No, it's awesome,
good.
actually.
We saw them piling into their cars and vans one day, all dressed up, ready to go with all
they
their
were-
equipment.
yeah,
And it was almost surreal. You're like, that's the coolest freaking thing ever. Napa's got its own mariachi band.
I'm sure they have several, but
Yeah,
you
well,
know.
whatever.
Right.
Now, you guys are north of San Francisco?
Yeah, we're about 35, 40 miles north of San Francisco.
Wine country.
Rainy?
Yep. No, not really. We Jesus, out here in California, we don't get rain anymore at all. So, we had a little bit. We had a little bit yesterday, which was totally out of the blue. But for the most part, we're trying to see if we can't totally drought ourselves out of economy and everything else.
Right.
And then it starts to rain a little bit out there in Cali, and everyone's like, don't drive. Stay in your house. Well, in L.A. anyway.
Dude, you don't even know. It not only is it not don't drive, but people totally forget how to drive. So all of a sudden you get like an eighth of an inch of rain and there's cars in ditches and mothers clutching their children on the side of the road. And you're like, what just happened? We bought a 4-wheel drive vehicle just for the 3 days it rains. Cause I'm like, I ain't dealing with that.
It's true. Now we have a Subaru.
Oh, wow. That is pretty funny. Subaru's a great car, actually, in feet of snow, let alone eighth of an inch of rain.
Right.
Well,
We want it safety first, people. Safety first.
Yeah.
Well, there you
It's
go.
funny talking to peeps like in the central and east coast that deal with like ice and sleet, and they're driving like Toyota Corolla or whatever. They're like, no, man, you just have to learn how to drive. And it's like, oh, learn something. Out here in California, you just buy lifted Hummers, and we're fine.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like anytime in LA, and if usually it doesn't rain, but if it calls for rain in the forecast, they're like, just stay inside. It's it's very detrimental to your health if you if you drive on the roads. Stay off the 405.
Yeah.
You should stay off that anyway. So
Yeah, true. You'll just be sitting in traffic anyway.
It's crazy, like, because out here it's the exact opposite. It's like if it's sunny, we don't know what to do.
What are you talking about?
Like today, it was hot. It was hot. The sun was out, and I went home and I took a nap in the air conditioning.
I ran on the boardwalk.
Well, you're in shape.
That's after I got back from the city.
shorts.
Oh, that's funny. People just running around naked.
Ah!
Like, I don't know what to do.
So, guys,
That goes here though. It's legal to be naked here, so that's
Right.
okay.
Oh, what?
Yes,
What?
the nipple thing, right?
What?
The nipple thing.
Right.
This interests me. What happened with the nipple thing?
Somewhere that they just passed a law where you can, girls can just be topless like guys.
Oh.
Not that they passed. I mean, I think in New York City, technically you can. Like if a girl wants to go running, she can run topless. But there's this whole, what was it?
I said, wow.
Yeah. Yeah. But I forget where, but there's somewhere that like it's totally okay so I'm okay with that. I know there's gonna be a lot of bad looking boobs and a lot of great boobs. So ladies, take your tops off and come to Jersey.
That just sounds uncomfortable. I don't know if I'd want my man boobs flopping out when I was running out. This is just weird.
Well, the funny thing
If I
about
was a girl, and you have big boobs, knock yourself out.
yeah.
Right.
The funny thing about that whole thing, I've actually done some stand-up about this, but it's just that like women are all like free the nipple, and we're guys, we're just like and it's feminists that are saying it, which is fine. But we're all like, don't you know that's what we want you to do? That's fine with us too. Like show them all the time. Granted, we'll take the good with the bad, but it's okay. Like, are you kidding me?
Being awesome for being so supportive.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm so supportive of that.
Nipple freedom.
Right. Absolutely.
They're like, we don't want to be.
Consider yourself a freedom fighter.
I am. 100%. Mike, what about you?
I listen to nipples and nipples and nipple. Like, they're all equal in my eyes.
I hear that.
I'm not going to hold anything against an areola that may be larger or smaller or longer than any other. I'm an equal opportunity employer.
Yeah, I
know what I mean?
Yeah, I guess me too. Call me a bra because I'm here for support. You know what I mean?
You are, Derek. You're a nipplist.
I'm a nipplist.
You're an anti-nipplelite.
Anti-nipplelite.
Yeah, you have issues with certain nipples.
I do.
I'm getting that vibe from you.
Maybe I do.
Annaleis, what do you think about that?
Better.
I say freedom.
Hey, we've got the GoPro running.
It's not happening.
Let them go.
That's not happening.
I mean, it's what the women want.
It's not my new beach.
Right. Yeah. If you don't, you're kind of holding back years and years of
Right. I'm going against.
Yeah.
Right.
Activism.
Wow.
Burn your bra right here.
I'm gonna think about that. I'm gonna think about my stance. on
Neil
something.
like that. Do it for Neil.
Yeah. I'll burn my bra. I'll burn my shirt right now. I mean, not with me wearing it. That would be. That might work too.
Well, hot on fire. I don't know.
Well, guys,
really be Nelly.
Thank you so much for coming on, man. We really appreciate it. It's 3 hours different, so it's kind of difficult to get to hook up from time to time, right? But let's tell everyone out there like what you're about a little bit. You guys are from Dark Angels and Pretty Freaks, which is a podcast. We can find you. Let's tell them right up front. Like, where can we find you on the line?
You can go to our website, which is darkangelsandprettyfreaks.com. You can obviously, if you're listening to this, you're obviously a fan of podcasts, and you can find us iTunes, Stitcher, Spreaker, wherever podcasts are. We're a weekly podcast where it's Annaleis and I. We're married now. We started when we were engaged, and it's just a podcast where we spend about an hour, unless we have guests, and then sometimes we go 2 and 3 hours. But it's really just goofy stories about our lives. We didn't expect a lot of people to listen, so it's really just a look into how silly we are. So it's pretty much a conversation between Annaleis and I every week.
So it's almost like a little voyeurism into your lives.
A little bit.
Totally. I think one of the coolest compliments we get is that people say that it feels like they're hanging out with friends when they listen to us, or if they watch, we shoot our podcast on YouTube, or I should say on the GoPro, and put it up on YouTube. But people just say, it feels like I'm just hanging out with a bunch or a couple friends and listening to what they did that week. And it is neat because I oftentimes forget, sometimes we're recording, so I'll talk about everything.
Oh, yeah.
And sometimes it's like, this and that. And then people on Twitter will be like, hey, that was really funny about that dream you had about, having sex with your weird wheel. And I'm like, oh, yeah, that was funny.
Weird
Usually
wheel?
like if you're going, nope.
Yeah, I had this weird dream where I had a sex dream where I was having sex with the spokes of the rear wheel of my mountain bike. I don't know why, but it was.
It doesn't sound comfortable, right?
It was totally sexual, and it totally came to completion. So I was like, "This
What?
is insane."
Was it, Annaleis, were you present for this?
We talked about it on our podcast, and then no one said anything about it. And I'm like, "Oh, that's whatever." And then Annaleis the next week brings it up and goes, "I can't believe nobody mentioned anything about Neil having this weird sex dream." So of course I got a bunch of tweets about
Right, and now he gets like people
Going
sending
to
pictures
therapy.
of bikes and things
yeah,
like that.
I got a bunch of tweets of rear bike wheels. So anyway, it's a little bit of our insanity. But the cool thing is we try to, because we didn't know people would listen. So when we started to have it for like our family. When my sister has kids,
I hope your
they
mom
can
doesn't listen to that one.
My mom does. And unfortunately, I talk about my mom clicking her mouse all the time, which doesn't help.
Double click and single click, they both work.
Left click.
We're talking about mouses.
Click, right? Annaleis just spit up her beer. That's awesome. So, so it's really an honest look. I mean, what you hear for the most part is how we are with each other. So it's fun. We're very humbled and it's surprised that people actually tune in to check out our goofiness.
One of my favorite things about your podcast, because I listen to it and I enjoy you guys, is I text, like when I'm listening, I feel like I have to pick up my phone and text you the crazy shit you say. You know what I mean? Like it's like hanging out with friends, and I just have the benefit that we are friends, right? So we have each other's phone numbers where I could I could text you. Now, is that weird to you when I'm sitting, I'm in Jersey. It's probably God knows what time when I shoot you a text message. I just happen to be in my car listening to your conversation. It could be 4 weeks ago that you had this conversation, and you get a text, and it's like a random statement. What is it? How does that feel to you?
It's it's interesting, like who it comes from. Like if you shoot us a text, or Ginger or somebody like that, somebody that we kind of know and feel, we know in the podcast world and feel a connection to and friendship to. It's kind of like, oh, that's cool, they're listening, and they think that's funny. What's really interesting, and I have a hard time wrapping my head around, is when we get tweets from people we don't know at all. Sometimes in a different country going, oh my God, I totally know what you're talking about. And I'm like, I have no idea what you're talking about right now, because I don't remember saying what you're referring to. But it's really cool. I mean, I think for both of us, I'm totally monopolizing this conversation. It's very humbling. I mean, it's very cool. It makes us happy. We try to be, positive and happy most of the time in our lives, certainly on the podcast. So it's a cool feeling. I know Annaleis, I'm sorry, go ahead, Mike.
We talk about that all the time. Like one of the best parts about doing the podcast is the relationship that you grow with your audience. And like we try to be very active as well with the PBR Posse on social media, and it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, you got to be. I mean,
Hashtag eggs.
Hashtag eggs, right? Like I love that. Like people, I'll get my phone will light up, and all of a sudden, someone will be like throwing an egg at like Instagrams or something. Like so
I'm getting egged,
right? Like people that might not, this might be the first episode that you're listening to of PBR, right?
Sure.
So Derek, we should probably tell them what we do with eggs.
Well, what we do? It started off with you guys egging me, and
well, people might not know. Did we really throw eggs at him? What is this podcast?
No. What is you tweet at me eggs, and then it tweet at me hashtag eggs, and then all of a sudden it just turned into people were sending me pictures of scrambled eggs and pictures of dozens of eggs and all kinds of egg related things.
Yeah. So, which is a great idea. We should probably just do everybody. Let's throw digital eggs at Derek again.
No.
It's at the Derek D. hashtag eggs. What do you guys think?
Definitely.
Oh, jeez.
Derek's right now, like grabbing his phone and turning off his notifications right now.
I had fun. When you guys go on Periscope, if I'm available, I oftentimes check it out, which I think you guys use Periscope in a great way. It's so much fun to see the behind the scenes and kind of see the conversations as they're happening in a different way. But I was on one day and some guy was going crazy with the eggs, and I'm like, this son of a bitch, if he doesn't stop with the
that was fun.
damn eggs.
So many eggs at me.
You've gotten a lot of creative ones too. Though, like they'll send you pictures of eggs, like in a heart shape, and some good stuff.
Yeah, well, the heart shape.
Awesome.
I mean.
So let's keep the eggs going. Hey, is there anybody that you guys would like to throw a digital egg at?
Would I like to throw a digital egg at?
Oh, geez.
We should totally throw a digital egg at Ginger. I want to throw a digital egg at Ginger.
Give it out there. Give his Twitter handle.
Oh, Jesus, great! It's
at 7 Days a Geek.
it's at S7 EN Days a Geek, right? Do I have that right, Mike?
It's something
Holy
like
crap.
that. But you
I
can
didn't know
get to him
that.
off our website, pbrpodcast.com. There's a link to Ginger. Throw some eggs right in his face.
Please.
Right up in that fascia.
Yeah.
Stop throwing eggs at me.
No.
That's
no.
what I meant to say. I meant to say hashtag, put it both at Ginger and at Derek D, and then, throw eggs at both of them. That's what I wanted to say.
You ever like crack an egg and there's 2 yolks in it? That's kind of what we want.
me out.
Yeah, that's kind of what we want to do digitally
Now that's
here.
crazy talk.
Yeah, right.
That's out of
But
control.
the 2 yolks, that's like unborn chicken incest. I don't like that.
Are you
at
bringing
all.
that back around to nipples? Is that what you're doing?
No nipples.
eggs, 2
I'm
nipples.
saying
What?
full on chicken action in the
No,
shell.
no.
Chicks on chicks.
It is.
Oh, wow. I like what you did with that, man. That's a good guess the emoji. By the way, when are you guys going to play guess the emoji?
I have not. I've got it saved. I didn't check it out. We will do it. With everything going on with PBR and everything that we had going on here, I just wanted to be sure that we were going to be the center of attention and focus because it is all about me all the time. So we will do it this weekend.
I mean, you'll
you'll have it by Sunday night.
I feel like when you guys get in an argument, Annaleis is just like, well, sorry, I'm not your mountain bike wheel. You could bring that one out when you're in an argument.
It's close. It's close. I get the, oh, you think you're so cool. I'm like, yeah, I guess I kind of do.
Like, is that the problem? I don't understand what your problem is.
And then I start arguing with myself.
Oh, yeah, Neil, go play with your wheel, Neil. You wheel, Neil.
We were joking about how, if things come to a head ever, I'm just going to throw that bike outside.
Yeah.
There you go.
And then someone else had said, if you really want to get serious, you throw him outside and keep the bike.
Yeah.
Deflate
It's
the
scary when I
tire.
go into the garage, she gets nervous. She thinks I'm mad at her. She's like, where are you going? I'm like,
Why are you spending so much time in the garage?
I got to clean my chain. She's like, you son of a bitch.
Annaleis, I want to congratulate you. We're about 20 minutes into this podcast, and you have not once said anything about an ex-boyfriend.
You know what? I don't even think I talk about that much, but for some reason on the podcast that you were a guest on, I think I talked about like 2 or 3 times. I'm like, oh my God. And I listened back to it. I'm like, oh, Jesus Christ.
I was totally expecting her to be like, oh, it's funny you bring that up. I've got this story.
This one time.
How long have you guys been together?
5 years?
5 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Married for how
Not
many?
Too long. Just, we're not,
Not even a year.
no, it'll be a year in August.
Yeah.
August what?
Glad I got that right.
Woo.
August 30th. As soon as I said August, I'm like, holy crap. I hope that's the
There was a
month.
look.
Yeah, you'll see it on the video. I look up like, holy, I could have totally jacked this up.
That's too funny.
This podcast is all about the revolution of our guests, right? And you guys are interesting. You're you're a dynamic duo, dare I say, but you guys really are wrapped around, the audio industry, right? Like Neil, you're in audio, and Annaleis, you work at Skywalker Ranch and do some stuff there, correct?
I do. I work at Skywalker Sound out at Skywalker Ranch, and it's the last official division that has been sold to Disney that still is at the ranch. And so we are still there and everything else has moved. But so we're the post-production facility, and I work for the engineering department, and I'm a wire tech. So I actually, like the cables you were talking about earlier, I actually make those from scratch. Like I just get AutoCAD drawings and I like build the cables and help with the rooms and things like that.
It's kind of cool. All the cables we have and any specialty cable that I want, Annaleis makes. So it's kind of cool.
So in other words, nerd alert. No, I'm just kidding.
Exactly.
I actually have a T-shirt that my mom bought for me that says Nerd Alert.
Ah, nice. Now, is Skywalker Ranch, is that near ILM or is that separate?
So interesting that we all used to be kind of out in Northern California in like ranches and things like that. But ILM and Lucasfilm proper is now at the Presidio, which is the old Army base in San Francisco, next to the water and all of that. And so ILM, Lucasfilm, and the games division, the animation division, that's all there now.
Yeah, that's
so
right.
we're the only ones left at the ranch.
Oh, okay. Because I've been ILM before, and I was in that whole animation division. It's pretty cool over there.
Yeah. Did you go to the one in the city or the one that was still at the ranch at the time?
No, the one in the city. That's I guess the old Army.
That's
Right on the other side of the Golden Gate.
Right.
Yeah. That's where I was.
Yeah. So that's where it is still, and that's its new place, and I think that's where it will be for some time.
Well, the next time you guys make it out to the left coast and are in this area, definitely hit us up because Annaleis can give tours of the ranch. So you guys can go out there and have lunch and hang out
that's cool.
and
Yeah.
see it's a beautiful, beautiful property.
Yeah, it really is like a ranch. There's cows and horses and all of that.
Lions
so
and tigers. And
there's no
bears.
Oh
bears.
my.
Nice. Is George Lucas walking around with his weird beard?
He used to do a lot more stuff.
Yeah.
What? I like my job. Just want to say that up front.
Well, he's not a part of it anymore.
True
Did
enough.
you
long as
know?
they
Did
don't
you
talk
know
bad
that
about the mouse.
this is a true fact? You can Google it. Sydney L'Esperance, our fact checker.
Cha-ching.
Please look this up. But the George Lucas's beard was essentially the thought process behind Chewbacca.
Was it really?
Is it really? I don't think I've ever heard that.
No, I'm serious. You could Google it. Do you guys know how to
Google
work?
that. Google that shit.
You know how to work Google, right?
60% correct.
60% nice.
Might be like 10% correct.
I don't know. I read it somewhere. You know that's where
It's on the internet?
the inspiration came from. As a matter of fact, he was like he had a night. I think the story goes that he had a very long night the night before.
I've heard this.
Right, and he would like woke up. He was a little bit under the weather, and he was splashing water on his face, and he was brushing his teeth, and he had a long beard, and he was brushing his teeth, and he started to choke on a toothbrush. He went, "Oh!"
There it was.
And it was like Chewbacca was born.
There it is.
I mean, you could look that up.
I mean, it's science. I mean, it's facts.
That's what happens.
That's just science.
You can't argue with the truth.
Yeah.
You can look that up on facts.com.
Right. Snopes is all over it.
Ask Jeeves about it. He knows.
Jeeves fucking knows. I thought you were going to say that his lack of chin
Easy.
was what
Easy.
you work for the mouse, not for him. His lack of chin is what inspired Jabba the Hutt.
Oh.
Did I go too far?
His head kind of goes right into his neck. You're right.
I don't think I've ever seen him without a beard.
Owns the property I work
He doesn't
on.
own me.
Right. Okay.
You're not bad mouthing him.
No, for sure.
I'm giving him props. I'm a
Right.
big Jabba fan.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
No, he got freaking Leia in that gold bikini. Jabba.
That's true.
Jabba's the man. Or the Hutt, one of the two. Oh, that was terrible. That was absolutely terrible.
Speaking of terrible, I got to break this connection and call you back.
Oh, okay.
Working on Skywalker Ranch, you got to see a lot of like advancement in technology, like stuff. You got to see stuff there first that people aren't seeing out in the public.
Yes, and sometimes we actually get asked to test out gear or technology as well. But I can't tell you about that.
Oh, really? I was gonna say, what's like the craziest thing that's come across your desk lately?
iPhone 7.
No, actually. Apple was very tight-lipped about their technology, surprisingly.
Yeah. What they basically do is they copy Samsung but put it out 2 years later.
Oh!
It's true. I mean, I'm an Apple guy too, but let's call a spade a spade. Like they just released a split screen on a tablet, which has been out for like 5 years on other devices.
Yeah, who cares?
Right, and it's like a phone's bigger, phone's smaller. It's like we're going back to the bigger phone, and
Yeah.
I want to bring back flip phones.
right.
Flip phone. Yeah, I want.
I
the
loved
old
my Razor.
giant-
I don't know what you're talking about.
Apple next year is going to come out with that gigantic battery phone where you have to carry around the battery and it's got a cord hooked up. And they're going to be
Yeah,
like, no,
like
this
like
is-
Zach Morris from Saved by the Bell.
Right.
Right.
Exactly.
Let me ask you a quick question, Neil. This goes back to an old episode of PBR. I'll ask both of you, if you could hang out with one member from Saved by the Bell, who would it be?
Screech.
Oh,
Dude, another one. Like, what is wrong with you people? You hang out with Kelly Kapowski.
oh man! It's either Kelly Kapowski because he's hot or Zach because he gets chicks.
Well, see, here's the thing. As
I would
think
hang
of-
out with Zach. Thanks for asking.
Yeah, of course you would, because he's the male Kelly Kapowski.
Current Zach.
Nice. High five.
Woo!
I'd current Kelly Kapowski too.
Well,
Right?
see, I think of them like I'd be hanging out with them at my age, but they'd still be the same age as Saved by the Bell.
Right?
So I'm like, oh,
In
that's
your head, that's what's happening?
creepy. But hanging out with a young Screech wouldn't be creepy at all. It'd be awesome.
Or it would be super creepy.
Maybe.
He's like, I would love to hang out with Screech's 10-speed back
I
tire.
was gonna say, I bet right. I bet
Bring
you're
your
right there. Bring your freaking derailleur, bro.
Bring your bike, dude.
Derailleur.
Although the wheels on Screech's bike are not skinny like a tennis. Why do I keep saying tennis?
I don't know.
Like a Dennis! God damn it, Dennis. They're not skinny like a 10-speed. They are fat like a beach cruiser.
Nice.
Oh.
Well,
Sometimes you just got to roll with the punches. Got to roll with the fatties. Wait.
What? Oh my God! No, don't.
So, Annaleis, tell us, give us one nugget of what's coming out. Some cool stuff. Something you won't have to kill.
Well, mostly it's stuff that they use, not the right. It's like the cool tech stuff. Is
Yeah, that's what I want to know. I don't care about the movie or whatever.
How about that cool?
He's just making hand gestures. I don't know,
know.
what that cool thing is.
That board that the guy built. Can you talk about that?
The guy. What?
Hoverboard?
No. Never mind.
I don't know what you're talking about.
All right.
Sorry.
I don't know if she's
She signed a non-disclosure.
It's difficult at all. I just don't know what he's talking about. There's so many things.
boyfriend would know.
Oh, don't start your crap.
Which one is the question?
Let me see. I guess I could talk about how we are doing all the sounds for the new video game and stuff like that that's coming out, the new Battlefront Star Wars.
Star Wars game?
So in the past, all of the Star Wars games that have come out have kind of been a side note, not a side note to the industry, but they haven't gotten their sounds from us, even though we are the original, recorder of the sounds and all of that. So they would actually get their sounds from like the archives department, and they would try to like pull sounds from the old,
Like a copy of a copy.
Yeah, basically you're getting like a copy of a fax on those video games. But the guys who are actually working and developing the game have actually been out, and we've been sharing everything original with them, and they've been making just amazing work with it. And so I think that we're all really proud of what's going to come out.
So somewhere there's like, and this is 60%, but somewhere there's an original laser sound, right? Didn't they get the sound of the gun off of like the metal wire that holds up a telephone pole, and they like hit it with a wrench?
That is correct. If you watch the behind the scenes with Mr. Ben Burt.
That's true, huh? I actually said something that was true, everybody.
That is.
Note that.
That's funny because in Wednesday's episode of Fastlane Daily, I did laser sounds.
Oh, did you?
Like out of my hands. Because we're talking about the new BMW has laser lights.
Okay.
So I was like, I got lasers, and I was like, ding, ding, and I looked up. We have to get sound effects of lasers, and I was like looking up the Star Wars laser.
Right.
So, Annaleis, is somewhere there's like an original of that's not degenerated via copy?
Yes, technically.
Like, how did they record that first sound though? Because it had to be like on an 8-track or something going to tape. Maybe what year was it? It was like 1972.
72.
Yeah, 71, 72. Yeah.
Pulled that
So
shit right.
that dates everybody. Thanks for that. But
Not me.
Mr.
He's like, screw you, sons of bitches.
Jerk. Okay.
Yeah.
But so Mr. Ben Burt is super awesome, and he would actually do live recordings on like little tape machines and things like that. But a lot of that stuff is in his own personal archives, as well as the Lucasfilm archives, which is now the Disney archives, of course. But and so what's funny is trying to track some of that stuff down has not always worked out, but most of it is intact. And obviously Ben Burt still works for us. I actually saw him today, so I'll give you this little nugget. Today I rode down in the cargo elevator with Mr. Ben Burt, who's a super nice guy, and I had a trash can full of cable that I was going to recycle and take out of this old room, and he was pushing a shopping cart. And the shopping cart was empty. And I looked at him and I was like, so are you going shopping? Did you remember your bags? And he laughed and he was like, oh, very funny. I was like, no, I just got to get some stuff out of my car. And I'm like, and the shopping cart was, and he's like, what's weird? It was just in the basement. So I just thought I'd use it. I was like, okay, fair enough. But so anyway, he's a really nice guy. And he actually still has some of his own sounds. And we have some, but I'm not sure which ones made it and which ones are lost. I don't know.
But I mean, once they're copied digitally, like they don't degenerate anymore, right? They're just
right. Once they're digital, then we have them. But it's also the sea of archives that we have is immense, and so somebody who actually have an archivist who goes through and finds those sounds for them. So like if Ben wanted to reuse that sound, for example, for the new movie, he would have to go to the archivist and say, hey, can you find this and pull it up? And who knows what the heck we called it in 1972.
I was gonna say they don't have like a search. They haven't built like a search platform.
I'm sure they do. Like you try to do like a little search engine, but like again, what did he call it in 1972? So look for laser, look for Star Wars. Okay, Star Wars might not work in the archives, but laser sound, Canon sound. How many laser sounds are there? Like 250? I don't know. So
that's crazy.
Laser taser.
You never like,
but it's someone's job, so that's pretty cool.
You never think about that stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah, especially back then, like how they made all the sounds. Like it's not like obviously it's not like today, but back then, you know, they took a wrench and hit a wire holding up a telephone pole.
And it's one of the most recognizable sounds now in the world.
Yeah.
Everybody knows that sound.
Yeah. It's crazy.
You did it on Fastlane Daily.
Yeah.
Oh, that was a good one. I was going to go pew, pew, pew.
Don't pew pew.
Pew, pew. That doesn't work.
Oh, wow. I know they can't hear it, but it still sounds so sexy, doesn't
It does, yeah.
You guys know what's happening right
Or
now.
laugh. Oh, no, the music playing. Sorry. Jeez. Whoops, my bad.
All right, that sound indicates we're going to play a little bit of top or bottom. You guys know how it's played, right?
Yeah.
I'm going to give you two terms, and you're going to tell me which one of these terms is on top and which one is on the bottom. You guys get it? You know how to play? Any questions?
Nope.
For new listeners, top is usually better.
I mean, in what world is top not better?
Well, I mean, that's a valid.
It's not valid.
I think it's valid. I'm just saying for people that are new, they might not know. Hey, you know, someone. Just go on with the game.
Top or bottom, number one. Annaleis, we'll start with you. Dark Angels or Pretty Freaks?
Nice.
I'm gonna say Pretty Freaks on top.
Wow.
I was going to say Pretty Freaks in front.
What?
Oh, what? Eric D.
It's not your turn.
Sorry, my bad.
I wanted to ask you guys what the difference between a Dark Angel and a Pretty Freak was.
That's a fair question.
So, can I ask that first, or should I just?
I think you just did.
So Annaleis is the Dark Angel. I'm the Pretty Freak.
No.
Yeah.
Does that make it weird for you?
Is that wait, really?
We're both darker skinned, and I call Annaleis Angel, and my
Neil's the
sister.
Freak.
My sister gave me the nickname Freak when she was about 7 or 8, so I was about 17, 18, and Annaleis calls me Pretty all the time, so that's where the name Dark Angels Pretty Freaks comes from.
Yeah.
All right,
So
I don't
I'm
know.
the Pretty Freak.
I guess Dark Angel on top, Pretty Freak on the bottom.
Amen, brother.
I don't know. I was just gonna go with the Dark Freak and the Angel, Pretty Angel.
You should have mixed it up.
You know what I mean?
Dark Freak and Angel Pretty.
Top or bottom, number two. Instagrants or Dennis, the intern?
Oh. Well, I'm gonna have to go with Instagram just because I don't actually know Dennis, and we've never actually
No
spoken.
one does.
Right.
I mean, we do, but
Right.
We keep him a secret visually because he's hideous.
you got to go with what you know.
He's a beast.
Okay, wait.
You're right.
Neil.
I would have to go Dennis on top.
Oh.
Oh,
All right.
wow. Look at that. That's a curveball.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
on the A side of this episode, we had Terry, the intern, sat in. And
Right.
I don't know. Do we like him better?
We don't know yet. I mean, it's the first time. Dennis will be back soon.
Yeah, that's true.
It's funny because Dennis, although he sent Terry the intern on social media and via text message, is freaking out right now.
Yeah. He's all pissed.
I will say this: I'm pissed at Dennis because we make our debut appearance. He bails, so I'm all about Terry. I think Terry should stay. Terry is awesome. Terry's the man.
Wow.
Nice.
PBR Posse, how do you feel about that? Let's hear it.
Hashtag Dennis or hashtag Terry? Who do you like
Hashtag
better?
eggs.
And eggs.
Derek, Instagrants or Dennis the intern?
I guess Dennis, the intern, on top.
Right?
Yeah, I mean, he's our Dennis.
He is our Dennis.
He's our Dennis.
Let me throw a curveball here. I want you guys to just speed round, fire out terrible human beings or even terrible characters. Ready? I'm gonna go top or bottom versus Instagram. Go ahead, give me a character. Say like Hitler. Right?
Oh,
On top of Instagram.
Hitler, Lex Luthor.
Top. This is versus Instagrams on top. Lex Luthor.
Galactus.
Give me another one. Anybody.
Poor Grant.
Bottom. Grant bottom.
Mr. Burns.
Mr. Burns.
Oh,
Top.
Oh, Mr. Burns is a good one.
Ginger.
Oh, completely on top, right? Even in reality, Ginger's on
Ginger
top.
says himself between him and Instagram, Ginger's on top.
Yeah, Ginger's claimed that.
Wait a
many
minute.
times.
Many times.
Are you comparing the angry Jason Parsons, the angry Ginger, to Instagrams?
No, I was throwing out a name.
Because
would not.
come on, man.
I would not compare nor contrast.
Have you ever walked through your back? You guys have a dog, right? Zero is your dog's name?
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, I have a dog. His name's Hank, right?
Yes.
They poop in the yard, right?
Yes, they do.
You ever step in that?
All the time.
Hashtag Instagrams. I'm just saying. Top or bottom, number 3. Dogs or kids? Annaleis.
Dogs on top, absolutely. There's no question.
There's no question.
There's
There's not no question.
Wow, we
not.
just got real up here. Compton just
I just
came out
went
of her.
straight out of Compton on you.
Wow.
Do you guys don't want kids, or you just not yet?
All of that.
We don't want kids, and I can't have kids. So
Both of those.
So just more dogs.
You know why he can't have kids, right?
No.
He caught a nut in a spoke.
Well played, sir.
classic.
Most of us just use baseball cards. Neil used his testicles. Film at
I
11.
just had that talk like a minute.
About him putting his testicles in spokes?
Just saying. They're already broken. What's your problem?
I'd say dogs on top too.
There you go.
Derek D.
Kids on top,
Yeah.
dogs on the bottom. I like dogs, but I like chubby kids, man.
Right.
Chubby kids are the coolest.
They are, but sometimes they grow up to be skinny freaks.
I'm talking like fat babies. Like I was a very fat baby. Like I love fat babies. I want to squeeze them. I want to bite their faces. Is that weird? I don't care.
No, that's totally cool, man. But you say you have a fat baby, right?
Best.
And he's birthed and he's fat and everybody
That's
loves
so
him.
awesome.
And the parents down there, they pick a name. They call him Jesse, right? So and then Jesse grows up
Baby burst.
and he's no longer fat, chubby, and lovable, and he becomes this skinny meth head. You know, like Jesse Pinkman. Oh look, here's Jesse Pinkman, everybody.
Yo, bitch. Why you? I was like I was a fat baby, and then I met Mr. White. Well, later on in life, bitch. And then like, yo, you need any meth?
No meth here.
Why? I'm selling it. Why am I even here?
Did you know that it's National Cucumber Day today?
What? You asking Jesse that?
Yeah.
Yo, like,
Meet up some Jimmy McGill's. I don't know.
yo, I didn't know that. But yo, you want to buy some meth?
Annalise, I like your Better Call Saul reference, but it was completely lost on Derek.
No, it wasn't lost on Derek.
Oh, it was lost on Jesse.
I like Better Call Saul. I've seen it. In the nail salon. He's got the cucumber water. I get it. Why would Jesse know that? Is he in the show? Did he watch?
My fault.
Come on.
I also choose dogs. Dogs on top. Moving on. Top or bottom, number 4. Call the cops or join the party.
Come on.
Oh, come on.
You gotta join the party.
No, call the cops. No, I'm just kidding.
The party gets crazy.
Nope.
Yeah, what state are we in? 'Cause
We're in San Francisco, and we have. I was referring. That question kind of refers to your neighbors.
Oh, join the party.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys have gone over there.
No, we haven't, but we certainly would.
Drink some
Yeah.
Tecates.
Have you just not invited?
Yeah, well,
To be honest, I think we could just walk over there and be like,
I think we
I've
could.
saved their dog a few times, so
that's
I think
true.
I could just
he's
walk.
He's brought their dog home several times.
Oh, you're
I'd
in.
Bring Rocco home a few times.
You're in.
Yeah, he gets loose sometimes. I don't know. And then there's like this little white fluffy dog, and I'm like, oh look, there he goes. And then Neil's like, all
It's
right,
this
I gotta take
tiny-
Rocco home.
Yeah, it's this tiny little white, curly, fluffy, not a poodle, but it's one of those miniature, almost purse dogs. And it's
like a little Maltese kind of thing.
Sometimes
Yeah.
they leave the door open because their mariachi is rocking, and they're like, oh,
You never know.
That's awesome.
There's a bunch of limes out, whatever.
Whoa.
And so the dog gets out, and the other, well, it's been a while now, but we have about 2 blocks away, there's a very busy street, and this dog just wanted to go. And so I brought our dog home because I was walking Zero, run out there to save this dog, and everybody's honking at me and pointing their finger at me like it's my dog, and I let him off the leash, and now he's trying to cross this road. So I picked him up and took him over to the house and knocked on the door, and they were very grateful that I did it. And then about, 3 days later,
Again.
little freaking bastards running around again. I'm like, do something with your dog. So I think we could go over there and totally rock with those guys.
Do they-
Bring my guitar.
They speak
Bring my guitar.
Spanish and English.
Yes.
Spanglish?
Their Spanish is much better than their English, but they're very open and very friendly people. I'll take my guitar over there and they can play mariachi, and I'll be like,
We just smile and nod at each other. That seems to work.
Yeah.
I'll just knock on the door and just look at them and say, are you a Mexican or a Mexicant?
¿Qué pasa, güey?
I think they can because that mariachi music is kicking.
Their the grandmother who also lives there, she walks around the block with one of those like walkers that has the handbrakes, which I think is one of the
I love that.
It's an off-road
ever.
walker.
and this woman can go like 10 steps and then she has to take a break, but she just keeps on
She goes
going.
every day.
And when I'm walking Zero, who's a pit bull mix, so some people are a little afraid of him. He's a slender dog, but he still has that look. When I walk and she sees him, she could care less. She's like, if that dog wants to, and he's not mean or anything, but she just looks at it. She's the only person that I've walked that she just looks at him and she's like, I don't care. If he takes me, he takes me. I don't care.
Those walkers are hilarious though, with the brakes on them.
You never know when you got to hit that brake. Did you answer the question?
No, I didn't.
Oh, sorry.
I'm joining the party on top. Call the cops, Bob.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I call the cops.
Why?
I don't know. Become cranky and old in my old age. Like,
Get off my lawn.
get off my lawn.
Raise my house.
Let's hit that last one. Top or bottom, number 5. Skywalker Ranch or Dark Angels and Pretty Freaks podcast?
What?
Dark Angels and Pretty Freaks podcast on top.
Yeah, Neil.
You said that like the guy from Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. San Dimas High School football rules. Do you remember that? Oh, yeah. Did you ever see it?
Why?
I don't know. You're like 9.
I'm not, and I could quote that movie like I was Bill and Ted for Halloween this past year.
Were you really?
Oh, it was amazing. I made the phone booth.
Bill and
Lights in it. I will show you pictures. We can tweet it.
We need to tweet that out.
100%.
Lord.
Annalise, I guess.
Ted, don't forget to wind your watch. Send my love to the princesses. Who? You'll see.
Oh my God.
Nice.
I need to rewatch.
Yeah, right.
Annalise, I guess this is a tough one for you.
It is because one pays me and
And
so,
one's your job, so get after it. Let's do this.
Yeah, that's the same one.
Oh, sorry. My bad.
So I guess you're saying Skywalker Ranch.
I love you, baby. I'm gonna have to go Skywalker Ranch.
Brutal.
Annalise, don't, we talked about this. Don't tell me you love me and call me baby while your husband is in the room.
Well,
right.
Oh, wait, that was for Neil. Damn it. I thought that
Don't
was.
start singing Night
you know,
Ranger.
when you point it out, it becomes awkward. You could have just let that flow.
Sorry.
tell me you love me.
Night Ranger is one of the most vivid music videos from the 80s that I have stuck in my head. Like they're on the railroad tracks and it's dark and it's silhouette and you just see the smoke pumping. Have you seen- right?
Right. The tight ass
And
jeans.
Sister Christian was filmed at a high school that was right 2 towns over from mine.
2 towns over.
Well, it's very close. It sounds like it's far. That sounded ridiculous. I digress. Why don't we just edit that out and we can make me sound cool? I'll say something really cool like, yeah, I knew all the guys in Night Ranger. That was cool, bro.
Derek, Skywalker Ranch or Dark Angels and Pretty Freaks?
Dark Angels and Pretty Freaks on top.
I gotta agree with you, man.
Skywalker Ranch on the bottom.
Listen to that.
Well,
I like it.
they don't pay Derek.
So Neil, we talked a lot about Skywalker Ranch, and you know the revolution of you guys is really right. The audio, and the advancements in audio. What do you got your mitts in these days? You're an audio freak, aren't you?
Yeah, audio is a hobby. It's not necessarily my job, but right now, my big thing is I want. This might sound totally geeky. The big thing that I want to do is I want to upgrade our board here for podcasting into a Firewire so I can have way more channels and do way more crazy stuff when we podcast. So I'm looking into that. But I don't have anything too crazy going on. I'm trying to think. The last thing I bought was I bought a guitar tuner for my dad. And we bought guitar strings for a dude in Jamaica. There we go. That's my crazy audio. Yeah.
We're eclectic over here.
When we go on
the West
vacation,
Coast.
we take one of the local beach performers guitar strings and guitar picks, and of course because I had to make it about me, we have Dark Angels and Pretty Freaks guitar picks, which we're taking in because we couldn't just get them regular guitar.
Nobody
picks.
wants
That's
that.
Lame.
That's so funny you bring that up.
Yeah.
I guess we could talk about it freely, right? Because if you listen to this episode, chances are you heard last week with Annie Malafarina and La Marie. Lemaire Lee.
Lemaire.
We had two of our friends, comedians from out in Pennsylvania. They were on the show last week, and we played "What's in the Box?"
And what was in that box was a Dark Angels and Pretty Freaks guitar pick.
Yes.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
100%.
I haven't heard that.
No, it hasn't released yet. It will release.
There you go.
I don't feel like a dick then. Nice.
No, in the world we live in right now, it'll release Monday. When you're hearing this, that means last Monday. And I don't know, you could be listening to this 10 years from now, and it was
Oh,
was a lot of Mondays ago.
Yeah. So
That's
Monday.
awesome.
You were in the box. How awesome is
You
that?
were in the box.
Love it when I'm in the box.
Easy.
I've spent most of my life trying to get in the box.
Whoa.
haven't we all?
I came from a box. I want to get back
Easy.
in a box. What?
Easy.
No,
It's
my
not
bad.
our podcast.
My bad. Sorry. Sorry.
Speaking of podcasts, man, so Dark Angel and Pretty Freaks, what's on the horizons? Like, what's next for you guys?
That's interesting. We didn't expect it to be where it's at now. So what's fun now is because we've been part of like the whole kind of indie podcast community. It's kind of cool because we're having some more guests on that are also podcasters. But now it feels like we're kind of hanging out and talking to friends. I mean, Mike, we had you on, and we just like to sit around and chat. So I think we're just going to keep kind of doing more in the same. We're going to the Rose City Comic Con.
And we're actually meeting up with a whole bunch of podcasters there.
Which is weird.
Derek, did you get the invite?
I don't think
No,
it
I
was
missed
me,
it.
yeah.
Did Dennis get
You are invited.
You guys are
Absolutely.
invited.
You got to come over to the West Coast.
You guys are totally invited.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. So yeah, I mean that's it. I mean the cool thing about this is that it's, for us it's just kind of fun and our hobby. So whatever comes our way, we'll take it. And
Right.
and we certainly hope that the both of you, Mike, I know you've been on before, but if the both of you would like to join us again.
Yeah, man, we would like that. We appreciate that.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
You use a funny term, man. You say like indie podcast.
Yeah.
I like that rings in my head. I don't know, oxymoron, or maybe like is a podcast by default, regardless of who's on it, an indie podcast? You know what I mean?
Totally. I know where you're going. I mean, yeah, it kind of sounds like, fucking for virginity. It doesn't totally make sense.
I've never heard that before.
I don't know, but it's funny.
Like that to me.
I guess when I think of indie, or when I say indie, I think of people that aren't necessarily professional, that they're not getting paid, whether it's by advertisement or anything else to podcast. Not that I have anything against any of the other podcasts. It's just simply that I'm not paid to podcast, and I've made a lot of friends with other podcasters who aren't paid. And so that's what I don't mean it derogatory or that it's better than or worse than any other kind of podcast. It's just my description of, people like me and Annaleis that sit in their office and podcast and kind of distribute it to friends and stuff like that. But it's not meant in a derogatory or negative term.
As well as I think we'd all love to get paid to podcast. So.
Sure.
Yeah, exactly.
So where do you see that coming? Do you see that movement happening? Do you think more? How is it going to be monetized in the sense of indie podcasts, right? Because you have your podcasts like Here's the Thing, or NPR. Like there's obviously money behind those shows, but then there's your mid-level shows that people make money through advertising, and then I guess there's people just doing it on their phone or whatever, right? There's all different kinds of levels. But do you see like a revolution, if you will, of change in the podcast industry?
I think there's going to be a huge revolution in podcasting. I think that advertisers, and what's really cool is advertisers big and small. It doesn't necessarily have to be the Nike or the Heinekens of the world, or Ford or BMW of that doing advertising. But people that where now we can track our stats and we can see, we're popular here, we're popular there. But local things, whether it's hotels or spas or restaurants that go, hey, you know what? It might not be one person that comes along like a Ford and says, we're going to give you $100,000 a year to podcast. It might be a bunch of smaller that realize that there's a lot. I mean, especially like a podcast. Well, you guys are huge, but a podcast like us, where it's okay. And you guys, where it's like, here's some people that are the real people. They're talking. They like to, they interact. They're honest, and we want our product with them. So I think there's a huge revolution in that. I think that the people are really going to realize that, yeah, even if I throw $1,000 a year or $100 a month at this independent podcast, and a lot of it happens, it's really going to propel. And I think it's going to become a profession for a lot of people. The other thing is, I think a lot of podcasters, they're not just going to advertise crap that they don't believe in, because you want people to believe in who you are and what you do when you podcast. So people aren't just going to sit there and be like, yeah, I'm going to take advertisement from freaking Goonie Goo Goo and their Goo Goo Bees when I don't want them. Like me.
Goody Goo Goo, Gus.
Yeah.
Wait, Neil, you're telling me, Neil, that if Goonie Goo 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 Bees wants to give you $1,000 an episode, you're not taking it?
Well,
Neil!
No. I will say...
Goody Goo 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 Bees!
We've already turned down a Goo 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 Bee. No, but what's cool is somebody comes at you and you believe, like if someone came to me and said, hey, we make these really cool vibrating eggs. Do you want to, promote those? I'd be all over it. I'm like, vibrating egg.
Can I attach them to my 10-speed?
Hashtag egg.
Exactly.
Of course you can.
So yeah, I mean, that's my thought on it. That was probably a way long-winded answer. I apologize.
No, I mean, guys, have you had Gianni's Pizza?
I've heard some good things.
We're waiting for the invite.
Mostly PR.
You're invited.
Johnny's Pizzeria, man. Slice up your mouth.
I have to say that actually, after listening to one of your podcasts, I did actually go to their website, and I was looking at the picture, and I was like, oh yeah,
I did too.
I could get behind some of that.
I did too.
That's great, and I'm sure they'll be happy to hear that. Maybe they'll deliver to San Fran.
see how long it takes.
If you could freeze that and send it this way, I would be happy to heat that shit up.
Well, if we're ever invited back on PBR, maybe we could be in person, and then we can also have the pizza.
I would love that. It's funny you say that, man, because we are. It kind of came up on episode 1 of the new PBR launch,
newer
right?
PBR, yeah.
And we kind of put it out there. We're probably going to do a live podcast, and we want to do it with a group of people.
I heard that.
Maybe
Nice.
you guys will fly out.
Be way into it if you guys would have us. Yeah.
It'd be kind of cool, man. Like, to be honest, doing it if they couldn't come out, do it like on a jumbotron.
Oh, like have a screen on the stage?
Yeah, like have guests call in from.
We can GoPro in.
Yeah,
that's a cool idea.
But like have it set up legit, not just like a Skype line where like really nicely shot or whatever, and just we can have anybody on.
Yeah.
I don't know, and they can well.
Mike, you've heard our show. You know we'd fly out there. We'd be like, no, it's all
I know,
about us.
right?
All these other people on the Jumbotron, that's good, but we're here the whole time.
I would love that. That'd be awesome, man. You guys would dig Asbury Park.
Oh, totally. Yeah.
Absolutely.
We would do it. We would do it.
We're going to have to make that happen. Maybe
Careful what you say.
Maybe Gianni's Pizza and Goonie Goo Goo Goober will sponsor the trip.
I'm gonna go Google Breeze.
I'm going to laugh my ass off if all of a sudden there's a Goo Breeze that does what they're like, oh, we would have sent you, but you're a dick. I'm like, oh,
Right? You turned down our Goonie.
story of my life.
That's great. So, Annaleis, where do you see it going? Do you agree with Neil?
I do. I think that the advertising and products and things like that is probably the way it's going to go. And I also think that podcasts, as opposed to probably radio shows, is the way it's going to go, because I think that we live very much in the new on-demand platform, and that's the way that we see things going. And like the way everybody is now, it's like instant this and instant that. You want to be able to get it on your phone. You want to be able to get it instant. You want to be able to save it and listen to it later. Like, I miss so many things because I can't tune in when it's on, that I pretty much live by things that I can,
on demand.
On demand. Exactly. So, and I also think there's an opening market for live podcasts that are released later, like live at bars or live in interaction at, Friday nights at this one bar with this podcast where you kind of host the night and then it's part of your show. So I think there's so many opening avenues for podcasters. I think that's going to be the wave of the future, on demand.
Yeah, we've been touching upon a lot of those things. We've broadcasted from locations, and we have like we talked about doing this live show. We have this place, this small theater that's opening up in Asbury Park, where we're thinking about doing it. I mean, we also have the benefit of being in New York, like near New York City, where a lot of our guests come from and stuff. So it's easier for us to get our guests, our celebrity guests or whatever, whoever's going to be on, to come out. Whereas if you're if you're in, I don't know, Bethlehem, Pennsylvania, it's a little more difficult to get to get the guests, you know? So like if you're in a metropolitan area, I guess it's easier to do those live things.
Yeah.
Although even on any other level, you could still be doing it. Like what's the difference between a podcast and an open mic kind of vibe? You know what I'm saying? Does that make any sense? Everybody got really quiet.
No.
I see what you're saying.
I'll start geeking out about this.
Right.
Yeah. No.
Neil very much wants to do a live show, and there's a place here in town that does live, bands and art shows and galleries, and so we might do a night there and see how that goes for us. But it's very much something that Neil would like to do and that we're looking into.
Yeah, and I mean that's the coolest thing about podcasting is that you can still do the live show and broadcast it live and people can tune in and feel, cool, that's part of the live thing. But then you release it later like your regular podcast and people can listen to it later, but still get that feeling
The
of,
vibe.
oh, that's cool, that's live, and this is what happened. And stuff sometimes goes wrong and sometimes it doesn't. And sometimes it hits and you hit a home run and sometimes it doesn't. But I think that's what's really cool about podcasting and listening to podcasts is that you learn the personalities and you learn about the people almost more than a radio show, because for a lot of people it's not a gimmick. It's really like this is us. This is what we
it's
do.
not our persona. This is us doing what we do.
Sure.
So
we've been trying to take it, like I think, to maybe I don't want to say another level, but we've definitely been thinking outside the box. Like on our YouTube channel, we put up, I guess you would call them secondary segments, right? Like
just like more content revolving around the podcast originally.
Right, like Street Styles, where we go on the street, we do some man on the street stuff. I don't know if you've seen any of that. And like Guess the Emoji, the 15-second game shows we put up.
Right.
Like, so it's like you could take the podcasting, and it doesn't just have to be you sitting and talking on the mic. Like you can take that to whatever level you want it to be, whether it's a live performance or a secondary, video that you do. We just want to pump out. Like if Derek and I come up with an idea, we just shoot it and we put it out there, and if it works, it works. It's like, but it's great because you build. We have like, I don't know. I feel like we have a relationship with our audience at this point via the podcast, and then if we put up other stuff, like they might want to see like that other avenue. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, for sure. And I mean, I'm going to get naked here and spoon up against you guys for a second. But like I said earlier about the Periscope stuff, I mean, it's such a cool look into what happens. And it gives you, I mean, for me, it gives me like a personalized touch. I mean, like Mike, I know we've talked and we text a bit and you were on the show before, but it's not like, we hang out and go to freaking hockey games and baseball games and, we're at each other's parents' barbecues and stuff like that. But it's still, it adds that Periscope adds that flavor of almost friendship and closeness of like, oh, wow, this is what goes on behind the scene. And the people that don't see this don't get to see this, but I do. Even if, 3,000 people see it, it's still really cool. And I think you guys do that really, really well. Not that my opinion of that matters, but I do. I mean, it as a fan and as somebody who enjoys your podcast and likes what you guys do, I'm like, oh, that is so freaking cool. I wish we could do something like that. But because usually we're half naked when we podcast, we can't.
Easy.
Right.
Do you have wow? I don't.
So get on that Periscope. We'll figure it out.
Get on that Periscope, right?
It's totally fine. Don't worry about that.
If you're looking at me on Periscope and I'm half naked, you're going to miss everything. Don't worry about it.
I lost my complete train of thought.
Whoa, what?
We're to get off Neil's nuts. We're I don't know. We try to like stay ahead of the game using technology. You know what I mean? Like I feel like we're. I guess if you listen to the Sal Volcano episode, which is up now on our YouTube channel, depending on when you're listening to this, it actually launches Sunday, but it'll be up. It opens. The cold open is Sal saying, "Wow, look at this table." Right? It looks like the Starship Enterprise took a shit on the table, right? I don't. It's like we're utilizing all this technology. Like we have it. It's on everybody's phone. It's like we just try to use it to take it to the next level. I don't even know what the hell I'm trying to say at this part. Well, maximize potential.
You guys are super active in social media like Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. You're there, and I think that's the wave of the future.
It humanizes what's going on. It's like the difference between hearing a radio DJ, call in, you're number 9 and blah 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 blah, and you try, but they never seem real. But with everything you guys do and all the different avenues that you use, it definitely makes you guys seem real. And I'm going to use kind of Sal and Q almost as an example. It's kind of like, with the What Say You podcast, here are these guys and Gatto too. I mean, here are these guys that are on TV, and you don't think you're not gonna call a TV station and be like, hey, what's going on? But when they let you in the same way you guys do into their personal lives, and it's just a conversation, and you just feel like more of a connection. You feel more drawn to it, which is like what I said, people felt about us. And I know that's exactly what I feel about you guys. So the fact that you take advantage of all of these things that are out there, whether it's Periscope or YouTube or Grindr or whatever you guys are on,
Grindr.
Well, easy.
it makes people feel like they're part of the family. And you guys are really good at it. That's the one thing that, like, when I think of your podcast and where we'd like to go, I'm a little too lazy to go there, but how you just include people. You just constantly include people. And that's, I mean, having us on the show, it's kind of like, you got to be freaking kidding me. That's so cool. You're including us. We're fans. What the hell?
Well, thank you so much for that. That's very kind words. But yeah, I think, it's a real good thing to be interactive with your audience. That's a huge thing, because like you said, it's more personalized. It brings them in, and that's with anything, a TV show or an online TV show, web series. When you can interact directly with that person you listen to or watch, it makes you feel like, oh yeah, they're not a jerk, or they're a real person.
Right. And do you think that
connection?
Do you think that in itself is going to be helpful in the advancement of the podcast, the monetization of the podcast? Like, how does that interaction equate to progression? You know what I mean? Like, you have the ratings in television, film. It's like tickets sold. How is this going to evolve? Or I hate to use the word evolution when we're the revolution, but it's one and the same.
Yeah.
I think the personalization of when advertisers or company owners or business owners realize that you're not just trying to sell something one time to one person, but you're trying to get a repeat and return customer, and that the personalization that some of the podcasts like yours offers to people, it's not just a one-time shot. It's not, let's just sell this widget once and let's move on. We're going to make 99 cents and move on. It's going to be more, no, we're going to have loyal customers, because the people that listen to this podcast are loyal to the podcast. So if these podcasters believe in what we're offering, I think that's where the huge difference is going to be. I mean, Derek, you have all the different avenues that you're on with, web series and the, sorry about the dog, and podcasts and everything else. And you're extremely active with everybody. Eventually, I mean, and I know it's working out now, but I believe eventually advertisers, we're going to look at that and be like, whoa, this person is not only reaching out and including their audience, now they're reaching out, including their audience, and telling them that they believe in what we have.
Right.
And that's going to be like, it's not going to be just, oh, I'm going to go buy this thing once, and then Apple's going to come out with a cooler commercial, I'm going to go buy that, and then Ford's going to come out with a cooler commercial, and I'm going to buy that. And if any of these people want to sponsor us, that's fine. But aside from that, it's going to be like somebody's going to go, no. We're the little guy fighting the big machine, and all these other people can make us a big machine. And I think that's going to be where the revolution is. Not to use revolution too many times.
No,
Hashtag revolution.
You're right, and people do that already. I mean, a lot of obviously people have millions of Twitter followers and stuff. I mean, they'll have companies come ask them to tweet stuff. I've actually done it myself, and I don't have millions of followers and stuff. But you're right. I mean, that's eventually where it's going and where it is and where it will progress to, only more so, I think.
Yeah, there's a direct correlation between social media followers and value. In the sense that
I read an article at one point, or I was talking to someone. There's some, people will cast people not based on their talent, based on their social media presence.
Yeah.
Sure. Which makes me want to punch people in the face multiple times. But it's like, that's insane. This actor's not getting the role because he only has 3,000 followers, and the person who has 50,000 is getting what I mean? It's just,
but think about it though. That 50,000 followers is automatically free advertising for you if you cast that person.
100%.
So I get it.
I'll give you a personal example of how it's affected me. So we had Mike on Dark Angels, and after we did the episode, and we hashtag PBR Posse and PBR Pod and all that stuff, and people started following our podcast because of their affection for PBR and for Mike, and then people listen to us and they're like, oh, that's cool. So just like what happened with Derek and hashtag eggs, imagine if it's hashtag whatever the product is, because
Goobers.
Yeah, right. But because Derek believes in it, because his fans have a fun time with it, it makes it we're not pimping something. We're not trying to force it down your throat. It's no, this is something I use or something I like or something I believe in, and everybody has a good time with it. And imagine if instead of hashtag eggs, it's hashtag whatever. It's huge and it's real. It's not forced. It's not some psycho freaking somatic we have to get this
where people
unconscious view of like, oh, if you buy this Lexus that means you're going to have a huge house or this that. No, if you buy this thing, it means that you're buying the same thing this really cool guy that you already likes buys, and he's a really cool guy. Right. That's it. That's the bottom line.
Instead of them being like, oh, you sold out.
Yeah. It's funny because what we're talking about is exactly a revolution, and it's full circle. It like goes from it reminds me, we often go back to this movie with, oh my God, Pirate Radio. Is that what it was called? What was the movie called with
Adam Sandler?
No. The kid who took over the radio waves back in the 80s. I can't remember his name. Pump Up the Volume.
Christian Slater.
Yeah, man. It's almost a full, it's like, like we went from, shortwave, FM, AM to, top of the gorilla building kind of stuff, right? To satellite. And then once we hit like to the satellite, I feel like it's coming back down the mountain, and now we're talking about podcasts and anything that you can put on YouTube and all of these things where it's back to the listener has control. So it's almost, that's like the definition of a revolution. And eventually that revolution will take hold. These people will become the power is what you're talking about, Neil. And then they'll start to rise to the top. That's where I think I see it going.
Yeah. I agree. I think you can see it too by the fear in the old guard's eyes too. I mean, I think you hear it and you see it, and people that don't understand podcasting or why people are into podcasting, it's a really good sign, because people that are afraid of something that push it to the side, it means that it's real. It means that people
I agree. I couldn't agree more. And Neil, you can't hear it, but there's some fun game show music playing, and on PBR, we got to like roll these game shows out. We like to get to know our guests through games. So you ready? We got one for you. We stole it from you. This game this week is going to be Favorite Five. So if you ever listen to Dark Angels and Pretty Freaks, they always ask their guests the topic when I was on is pizza, and you do your top five and you round table it. So we got that game show music playing in the background, and you guys ready to play a little Favorite Five?
Hell yeah.
Absolutely.
All right, so this one is your favorite 5 devices that you think have revolutionized your life. So, Annaleis, why don't we start with you and we'll round table it. What's your number 5, bottom of the barrel?
I'm going to go simple and girl. My curling iron.
That's so funny you say that, because Derek was like, I want to take my crimping iron, but I was like, you crimp your hair?
I didn't say
The fro was so 90s.
Yeah, I have a crimper. No, I'm just kidding.
Neil, number 5.
Well, I mean, it goes with me. I have more than one. It's my go-to. Like, I could be alone on a desert island with my curling iron.
Whoa.
Or your
Call it her ex-boyfriend. I don't know.
Oh, sorry, crap. All right, that's my number 5.
Neil.
My number 5 is the DVR.
Oh, wow, that's number 5?
Yeah, I don't watch
number 5?
I know. I don't watch a ton of TV. I'm not it's funny. I don't think I watch a ton of TV, but I
you
actually
probably do, right?
But the DVR has made it so easy, because I'm such an early bird when I go to sleep that that doesn't even make sense, because early bird is when you get up. Whatever. That it's kind of cool, because I can just DVR all these shows. Like, I don't know if I want to watch that, but if it's 3 in the afternoon and I got nothing better to do, well, I'll put it on. So the DVR is my number 5.
Derek D.
My number 5, I put modern car technology.
Modern car technology. That's not a device, man.
Bluetooth.
That's a technology.
I'm talking like the infotainment system in the car.
Nice.
Okay.
Yeah, the infotainment system.
Oh, I was about to blow you up. You were about to
That's
ramble off.
modern car technology.
That's
But
a
you were
good
about to ramble off like 10 different devices
Right.
that are involved.
No,
in
no,
modern-
I mean like the infotainment system.
Okay.
You know, you got your music in there. You got Bluetooth,
if you will.
Right.
everything.
All right.
Right.
All right, my number 5 is the Commodore 64.
Nice.
Right? We're talking about things that revolutionized. Like, that was the first computer. That computer
I had that.
that I used basically to make fart noises and play terrible games that were like little dots running around led to this table right here.
Oh yeah.
Did say he had a Commodore 64?
Because I didn't have one.
My parents had one.
I
yeah.
had a Commodore 64.
all right.
I got one for my
I don't think
13th
Derek's old enough to have a Commodore 64.
Yeah,
No,
I'm
no.
older and I didn't have one.
I don't. Yeah, I mean, I had one.
I got one
Like,
for my
let's
13th
move on
birthday.
from that.
He's like,
But
back off, you sons of bitches.
I was real little, but I remember it.
That's too funny.
I think they think I'm old. I'm younger than I really am.
Well, 18 is kind of young. Annalise, number 4.
My MP3 player of any
good.
kind. I have had a Sansa. I've
Yeah.
had a iPod. Don't start with me.
An iPod. You have 3 iPods right now.
No one needs to know that, but now they do.
Freaking
Thank you oh so much for that.
Redonkulous.
Music on the go. Everywhere you go.
You need it.
Love it.
Yeah.
Give it
You'd
to
have
us,
it.
Neil. Number 4.
My number 4 is, you guys can get all over me about this. It's a wireless TV splitter. So
wireless TV
I can, because
We have one,
since I
it's
don't
true.
watch a lot of TV, I have to make sure that I have a TV outside and in the garage. And so this is a little device that will broadcast what's on the main TV wirelessly to those TVs.
Oh, I dig it.
Oh, that's nice. Does that work like pretty good?
Oh, dude, it's awesome. I hate full HD. It's
Wow.
awesome.
That's sick.
Awesome. Yeah.
We'll talk off pod.
I'll send you
right?
the spec. Yeah, it's not that expensive. It's awesome.
Can you get it at Radio Shack?
Not anymore. You,
cannot.
can't.
Why? Because Radio Shack's closed?
Right. I blame Shaquille O'Neal for that.
Oh,
Derek D, number 4.
I put cameras.
Just all cameras?
Just every camera.
You know, like. I mean, I'm saying like from when I was younger to now. Like I remember my parents had a Sony camcorder, and like they busted out. I'm like, yo,
For real?
This is crazy.
That's your number 4.
I'm saying it's the revolution of cameras, basically.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Your parents had a what?
At a Sony camcorder,
What did it record on? I mean, it's so special.
8mm.
No shit.
Yeah.
My number 4 is a Sony Hi8 camera.
Oh, nice. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
That's what's up.
What are the odds of that, dude?
That's crazy.
Oh, man.
Oh man, that's funny.
That Sony Hi8 camera is the camera that I used to shoot the Impractical Jokers when they were they are the
Oh,
Tenderloins.
nice.
But when we
Really?
shot all their stuff as kids, I was using my Sony Hi8 camcorder back in the day when we were like 18 years old, like your age now.
Wow, that's
Maybe you're both
that's hilarious. But like, I remember my parents would bust that camera out, and it was like you'd hear my dad in the background like, "Get out of the camera!" This is me just jumping in front of it, acting like an idiot all the time.
That's funny.
I still do that in front of cameras.
I love that you guys have almost the same.
It's crazy too, man. Because when he started saying it, I was, that's why I was giving you shit.
Yeah, well, I'm better than you. Keep going. What's yours?
I just said it. But
that's
Sony,
right.
Yeah. Annalise, number 3.
A laptop.
Oh,
Yeah, I can't believe I didn't put that on my list.
I gotta take it on the go. I take it everywhere. I actually carry a laptop back and forth to work, even though I have a work computer. And then, it has like a DVD player in it. It's just like the thing.
On the weekend, she sets up her laptop on the dining room table, and
We have
and it's go. We have
a Mac Mini in here, and I'm like, no, I need this PC laptop that's like my baby.
Yeah.
It's on the dining room table.
Can you guys do me a favor real quick?
Yeah.
You can't hear the music, but Derek and I are rocking out to this music in the background.
So just dance.
Just so it doesn't look too weird on the video. Just bop a little bit while we're playing this game.
Oh, I think I went overboard. Sorry. I'm still going overboard.
He's doing the sprinkler.
I just nay-nayed. Neil, number 3.
My number 3 is the Xbox.
Oh, well, nice.
Can be any next gen
I need to
system.
redo my list.
Yeah, it can be any next gen system, but the Xbox totally revolutionized
Yeah.
my whole life because I was like, wait, video games look like that now?
Yeah.
I'm ever leaving the house.
Derek D, number 3.
I have Nintendo, the original
Nice.
Nintendo.
I didn't think about those, but you're totally right.
Just like-
totally right.
Yeah.
Just like Super Mario Brothers and Duck Hunt. I was like,
Life-changing.
Yep.
oh man, like when I was a kid, life changing.
I'm going to pause this
Yeah.
music real quick. And everybody this is how life-changing it was. Feel free to join in. Dun, 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 Boom.
Dun,
Dun, dun, dun, dun, dun, dun, dun, dun, dun, dun, dun, dun,
Awesome. That's my favorite.
Is it my turn? Whose turn is it?
Yours, I
I
think.
think it's yours.
My number 3 life-changing device is the cell phone.
Oh, yeah.
Pick a cell phone, I mean, right?
Obviously.
I remember the first time I saw Zach Morris busted out of his locker. I thought that was it. Kelly Kapowski.
My first experience with a cell phone, my parents had that big Motorola, not the Zach Morris one, the one that came like right after it, where just the bottom part flipped down, the part you talk into.
Yeah.
And I remember we were taking a road trip to Michigan, and I was like, "Wait, Mom, so you're telling me while we're moving in the car, you can call Uncle Rich?"
Yeah, right?
It was like so.
Yes, Derek, we can, but then you can't eat for a month.
Yeah. It's probably like insane.
Hi, Otto Baby eats a boy.
Yeah, right, exactly. Yeah.
Annalise, number 2.
Funny enough, DVR. That was your number 5.
You guys are a match made in heaven.
Isn't that special?
I love it because I'm not home. I'm like early enough, so like I know we don't stay up late enough, so like I have to DVR pretty much anything I ever want to watch ever. I can never catch anything live. So
And Annalise likes a lot of shows, so it's like there's no way we could watch them all if we waited.
No.
But it's freaking awesome.
It's
we
fun.
have 2
Some of
DVRs.
some of the shows she's introduced me to, I'm like, what is this crap? And then 3 weeks later, I'm like, so what happened on Haven?
Right,
I'm
right.
really interested.
Shawls of Sunsets.
DVR is a good one, but it's not on my list. But I didn't think of it. But that is a real good one.
I said we had Colin Jost on the show not too long ago, and I said to him, I love your show, Sunday morning recorded.
right, that's what
Yeah.
you said. You
Yeah.
watched it Sunday morning because like don't advertise that.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you for listening. I appreciate
There
it.
you go.
That was good. So my number 2,
Yes, sir.
the cell phone.
Yeah, almost there. We're almost on par.
Yeah, a lot of us. Yeah, we're gonna start saying the same things about now.
I mean, how can that not be a life-changing device? I mean, you know.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
funny
I mean-
because if like my nephew was listening to this show, he'd be like, "What are you talking about, life-changing?
Right.
I came out with a cell phone, Uncle Mike."
Oh, I know.
He doesn't really talk like that. Though.
There's that video of a kid online. He's probably like 6 years old, 7, just holding a payphone, looking at it with the most perplexed look on his face. Like, what do you do with this? Like, has no idea.
Cash.
Yeah, right. Well, it's like home phones. I mean, we don't have a home phone.
We don't.
does?
Neither do I.
Yeah. Those old rotary dials. You're like, eh.
Crazy.
Derek D.
I have the computer just in general.
Okay.
I mean, I kind of grew. I mean, laptop, sure. Just computers. Like the progression of computer technology.
I love it.
Yeah.
My number 2 is the memory card.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah, and
That's
Think of that.
solid.
yeah, man, because I mean, I've been in production since the dawn of time.
Right.
Right? I remember when we used to literally cut film and tape it back together.
Right. That's
You know what I mean? And now it's like I pop out these GoPros and I take the memory card out and it's on my computer 2 minutes later.
And think about that. A micro SD card is so
Crazy.
small, and what they could fit on there.
It's unbelievable.
Soon there'll be terabytes on something that size.
It's unbelievable.
It's crazy.
What people fail to realize that when you used to record on physical tape, you had to capture that same amount of time in which you recorded.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
Right.
It was ridiculous.
Right.
So that definitely was life-changing to me.
it's huge.
What trips me out about that is I remember being, I mean, I guess in like the mid to late 90s and going on vacation and taking like 13 rolls of film and snapping all these shots and having no idea what you got. And then you go and you pay
Right.
all this money to have it developed and get it back. And you're like, I just spent $110 on 5 good pictures.
Right.
And with like the SD card, you're just like, well, yeah, you pop it in. I mean, you freaking go take pictures all day, pop it in your laptop, and you're like, oh, look at this. Nope, don't like it. Oh, this one, I'm going to doctor that one up a bit.
Yeah.
It's that instant gratification. Like you take a picture of people and they're like, "Yo, let me see it." You know, it's like
Yeah.
you take that for granted.
This is the most photographed generation of all time right now that will never have a picture, a photograph.
Yeah.
Seriously.
You're right. You're right.
It's on
You're
demand.
absolutely right.
We actually do print out a few of our favorites and things like that, but
You should, because when that giant EMP goes off in the sky,
Right.
That's
all the
right.
pictures are gone.
it's true.
Right.
Let's go with number 1, Annalise.
Mine is my phone.
There you go. There it is.
And so my DVR was number 2 and my cell phone's number 1.
I like it.
Nice.
I don't even know what I did before. And I have a kind of job that I'm always on the go. I'm never, ever at my desk. And I don't know what I did before I had like a phone in my back pocket.
Whoa.
Whoa.
Is that a phone in your back pocket, or are you just happy to see me?
That doesn't really make sense.
I know it doesn't.
Neil.
My number one is rear suspension on a mountain bike.
And not only the suspension, because that goes up
I'm
and
not
down.
talking about the rear wheel.
Speed and comfort.
Liar!
Yes.
Liar!
When mountain bikes actually came out with rear suspension, it was a game changer for me. That's my number one hobby, and I absolutely
Yeah, it is.
love a lot of rear suspension.
Okay.
Bouncing up and down.
I used to mountain bike with my buddy Nate, who just died. Thanks for bringing it up. We used to mountain bike out at UCSD under the eucalyptus trees out in Cali, back when I was out there. And he had like this full suspended mountain bike, and I hated it. Like I couldn't get into like the pedaling with the suspension. But I love the spokes.
There's some places to go around here. We have like Alair State Park and Harshorn by Sandy Hook, and I've gone a couple times there. Mountain biking is fun. More downhill is fun.
We have
Faster's fun.
It's kind of cool out here. A couple of not near us, but in Lake Tahoe, a couple of the ski resorts in the summer turn into downhill mountain bikes. You throw your freaking bike on the back of the chairlift, go up there and go crazy down.
They do the same thing here.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, they do it in Pennsylvania. They do it in Jersey, New York. A lot of them do it. Yeah.
Well, us in California don't think anything else happens in the rest of the country. So. You can't blame me. It's how
No
it's wrong.
worries.
Derek D, number one.
Number one cell phone. Come on now.
Nice.
I remember my first cell phone was that little Nokia with the little nub for an antenna with the game Snake on it.
Snake.
And
Me too.
I just remember being like, if I went to the next town, I'd be like roaming.
Yeah, remember the map they gave you? They're like, if you call here,
Yeah.
it's included. If you call anywhere else and you're like, here is me, between me and the store, and I'm still in the store.
Yeah. It was so, you look at your phone and be like roaming. You'd be like, are you kidding me? And you wouldn't make phone calls till after 9. Remember nights and weekends?
Oh, that's right,
Nights and weekends
man.
free.
Nights and weekends free. Like, don't call me until 9 o'clock.
And remember, there was no texting back then.
No texting.
That's right. The two-way pager.
Hit me on a two-way.
Yeah.
That's right.
My number one is my MacBook Pro. I did have my laptop on the list, everybody.
Yeah.
It was my number one.
Right.
I love it.
That's the upgrade.
I mean, that thing has completely revolutionized my world.
Upgrade gonna kill me. Sorry.
Gotta think of the iPhone though. Like, think about what you have in your pocket right now, whatever phone it is, Android, whatever. But like, if you went back in time and you held that up with the screen's off, it's just this little thin black-looking thing. You would go to something like, I could answer any question you want to know, just in this little device. I could film you. I could take pictures of you. I could record you with this.
Yeah.
Any question you want to know, I will answer. Like.
The iPhone
Can you
has
imagine?
been a devastation to my boss because he's one of these that he'll like say, oh, this is exactly what happened back then. And I'll be like, really? Because he's a bit older than I am. So I'll open up, or not open up, but I'll whip out my iPhone. I'll be like, yeah, let me look that up. And I'm like, no, you're totally wrong. And he's like, son of a.
Yeah.
So now when he says stuff, he's like, this is exactly what happened, or I've been told. I'm like, oh, all of a sudden, or I've been told makes it okay.
Honestly, I try to sometimes, like when I'm with my friends and we like try to think of something, I say, leave your phones down. Let's go the old fashioned way and let's remember. Like,
Right.
Let's actually use our brains and try to figure this out.
Right.
Freaking iPhones and iPads and computers has been the death of my ability to spell. Now I'm like, what?
Oh, see, I
how do
think
you spell?
the opposite.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel the opposite. 'Cause
Really?
I'm notoriously a
helps
poor speller. But now anytime you're searching anything, not only does it tell you you're wrong so you can correct it, but it'll correct it.
I don't like that.
You don't like? No?
Yeah, right. She's never wrong.
My handwriting is
I'm just
because
kidding.
of computers and phones it's always been atrocious, but now it's even worse.
But why do you
I
need
mean,
to
like-
write?
Exactly. It's like
I do feel like a sentence in my hand sore. I'm like, God, I really should probably write more.
mine. I go from like this weird printing to this cursive
Yeah.
thing. It's just all
Right.
messed up. It's gross.
When's the last time you wrote a physical check?
Oh, I did. For rent.
I mean, right? Like, whoever writes it, you don't write anymore.
Had to write one to my bookie last week. It sucked.
No.
You wrote a
I
check
had
to your
last
bookie?
week 'cause I
Freaking Warriors. No, I'm
Stop it.
joking.
I sent out the little Dark Angel and Pretty Freak swag packages from work, and I have to actually fill out the things and like write a check.
Which is funny because it's like a whole production in the house. It's like, oh, can you send these out? And she's like, yeah, I'm gonna need a check. And both of us are like, oh, fine, I'll try to find the checkbook. I don't know what it is.
Let me balance the checkbook, honey. I gotta figure this one out.
My parents still do that, and I'm like, why are you even doing that?
Yeah.
It's all online.
It's old school, man.
All right, so you hear that sound right now? That is the sound of what some people refer to as a 56K dial-up modem. But when's the last time you guys heard that sound, and what does it mean to you? Really?
No, what's funny is actually at my job, we still use the fax machine. There's like an area in the administration area where the accounting is, and they still have a fax machine. And it's because a lot of financial companies still use it. So I actually heard one a couple weeks ago.
You actually hear the sound of it dialing?
It does. It
Yeah,
makes the
fax.
sound, and you have to wait there for it because, and I think this is why they use it. It sends you a confirmation that
Yeah.
it was received on the other end. You suckers, we know you got it.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Let me ask you, this is a new question we've been asking everybody. Do you remember your AOL screen name for Instant Messenger?
Venice X.
Everybody remembers it.
You gotta.
Annaleis, what was yours?
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, is that like AIM?
Yeah,
That's-
exactly.
Oh,
Is that like,
it's I think it was Kitty Chips with this also my Gmail and all of them. So it's the
Kitty
same thing.
chips.
Don't start to crap.
you
I'm
guys-
a girl.
Wait, and Neil, what was yours?
mine was Venice X.
Did you guys ever think that Venice X and Kitty Chicks would get together, man?
Yo. Age, sex, location check.
It blows me away that no matter what, like no matter who we ask, no matter who you ask, I dare you, I dare everybody right now to turn to the person next to them and ask them their AIM screen name. They know what it is.
Well, if they're of a certain age.
I want everybody to out on Twitter to tweet at PBR and at Dark Angels and Pretty Freaks. Give me that handle again.
DAPF podcast.
Tweet at both of us. Just tweet us your AIM Instant Messenger screen name. That's it. Just don't no hashtag, no explanation. Just give me
We'll know what you meant.
Yeah, and we'll read them on the show, the funniest ones.
yes.
Please
that's
definitely, yeah.
That'll
Tell
be
us
funny.
whether your regular America Online name or just what you had for the buddy list, the AIM.
I remember my sister's was Adidas 8B.
You're just giving out your sister's number all over the place, aren't
Oh,
you?
I know. I gave my sister. Yeah, I've been giving my sister's phone number out to everybody lately. But
Well, wait. I'm sorry. What was that? What was it?
what was what?
Her phone number.
Where's your sister's number?
Her phone number?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll give it to you. You want it?
Yep.
All right, hold on. I gotta open. You guys talk amongst yourselves. I gotta get to my phone here.
She's gonna kill you.
Is she single?
Got a picture. Of she is.
Yeah, and she was in London last week, and he was giving
She's
out.
still
her,
in London.
Well, all right, I'll go right there.
He's like, yeah, text her. Let's see how much that costs.
Her birthday was on the 6th. So and my birthday's on the 15th.
Yes.
Oh, happy.
I'm only
happy
throwing
birthday.
that out there because I thought maybe people would buy me gifts. Let's see here.
You cannot do that. Oh my god.
I'm gonna totally do it right here, right now. I gotta find her freaking number.
I'm blaming you, Mike.
Yeah.
Well, you can.
Yeah.
play
What
with
was
it.
that? Oh,
Your GoPro died. GoPro died.
GoPro died.
Yep.
Death to the GoPro.
It's
Wow,
up to you now.
Really angry at
Right.
me.
It's super pissed.
All right, here we go. Here we go. Cell phone number is area code 415-342-6928. And if you want to find her on WhatsApp, because
Oh,
she's
God.
in London right now, it would be Fabiana
Shit. What time is it?
Vanessa Di
The wireless
Genova.
customer you are calling is not available.
Oh.
Try again later.
Did
Well,
you
try-
just call her?
do you have WhatsApp?
No, I don't even know what that means, but
You know, the WhatsApp, it's like an online, it's
an
kind of like
international
Messenger.
messenger, but international.
Yeah, but you don't get charged, so you can text and you can get charged.
well, I'll call her later.
That was funny.
Wait, what's her name?
Her name is Fabiana Vanessa Di Genova.
Oh,
Italian.
that's fun.
Yeah, my parents are a little Italian, just in case you didn't figure that out.
I gave up on writing that name. I'm sorry. Like I started to write it, I got to the D in the last name, and I gave up. I put my pen down.
Yeah, I tell you, here, you know what I'll do? I'll just send you her info.
Oh God.
Yeah, you can just have everything. Anyway, go.
Oh, yeah.
Let's keep going. I'm
Remember that
sorry.
one time we were
My bad.
friends?
My bad. Remember that one time my sister still talked to me?
Oh, that's great. So, the year is 2050. You're sitting back in your recliners out there on the left coast. What does the audio industry, the podcasting industry, what does it look like to you in the year 2050?
2050?
2050.
Am I still?
Wow. 2050.
I would say, from a technology standpoint, we have finally perfected wireless because it's not perfected now.
Oh, true.
And that we now have all these little devices where we can pretty much run everything from the size of something that's an iPad.
And wireless on a plane is like as fast as it is like fiber optic.
Right. Because now, like, people ask us, in my building, like, why don't we run this on wireless? Why do we have to be connected to the hub? And I'm like, because it's not stable. If you really want a polished product, we can't give you wireless. It's not a stable functionality. But I think by then, wireless and iPads, that's all we're gonna have.
I would say by 2050.
Implants.
I agree with your wireless.
And I raise you.
I think what'll happen is podcasting will go definitely to the next level, and it'll become one of those unfortunate, but at the same time kind of cool, is that individual podcasters will have a certain stock and commodity, which means that Annaleis on our podcast is way more popular than I am. So people will want her on their podcast, and it'll be so instant and so much like, let's have a conversation right now, that hundreds of thousands of people can tune in to listen to her have a conversation with, like, let's say Derek or Mike or whatever. I think it's going to get to the point where it's so instant and so reactive that it's going to absolutely make your head spin. Because right now it's fairly instant, and I think it's just going to get faster.
Yeah, I was going to ask, like, that's kind of what we're doing right now.
Yeah, pretty much. I think it's going to be Periscope or any like Snapchat to the next level, where it's like people, you're at your desk and all of a sudden it blings and it's like, Annaleis, Mike, Derek, and Neil are chatting about this, like kind of like you get the Twitter updates, and everyone just gets to be a part of the conversation.
Yeah, like you're looking up a topic in Google or something, and then you get a little ping, and it's like the topic you're looking up. These are the people that are talking about it right now, and you can listen to.
Dude, that's awesome.
Yeah.
You need to make
any surgery. You'd be like, oh my God, I totally missed my rear bicycle wheel. And everyone's like, oh wow, these 6 people are talking about it. And I'm like, awesome.
What, talking about your fetish of, like, there's 6 people in the world talking about fetishes with back tires?
Exactly.
This is how you fix it.
Exactly. Buy a pack kit. Yeah.
Oh, God.
Guys, thank you so much for coming on, man. We really appreciate it. This was awesome.
Very much. Hey, you guys are awesome. Mike, thanks so much for all the support. Derek, it's so cool that you have accepted us and coming on to your show. And
Has he though? Has he?
Yeah.
I've accepted you.
Thing, so.
Tell everybody where they can stalk you.
DarkAngelsandPrettyFreaks.com, at DAPF podcast, and at AngelsFreak7.
I'm at Wiretech Girl.
And that's it. That's pretty much it.
Derek D.
Go to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/PBR podcast. But yeah, follow Dark Angels and Pretty Freaks, DAPF podcast at DAPF podcast, right?
I would like to plug Goodney Goober Goobers. And you can find us on the web at pbrpodcast.com, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram us. Give us some love, and we would love you back. And we'll see you. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.